Welcome to Mushroom Mondays. I'm Mike, co-founder of Spore Life Sciences, and I will be your host today. Today, we're going to have a very special guest, Noah Gill, co-founder and chief brand officer of Ace Hill, a leading craft and alcoholic beverage company, as well as Ace Valley, a leading craft cannabis company. We're going to be discussing his entrepreneurial journey and some of the benefits, believe it or not, of drinking high-quality beer. Noah, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey guys, thanks for having me, Mike. Great to see you.
Great to see you as well.
Excited to be on the podcast.
We're excited to have you, definitely. So, kind of diving into it, you've built not one, but two really great, well-branded companies that are extremely successful. You didn't roll out of bed and become an entrepreneur overnight. It seems like this journey for you has been brewing, pardon the pun, for some time. What inspired you to get involved in the beer business, and how did it all come together?
So we started Ace Hill, our alcohol company, around 6 years ago in 2016, with three other founders and friends. And then our cannabis company we started in 2018. I was the chief brand officer. I ran all of brand and marketing. But early on, we really saw a gap in the beer market, and we couldn't find products that we'd like to drink. During 2016, it was kind of during the craft beer craze, a lot of dark, hoppy beers, IPAs, triple IPAs, double IPAs. We really wanted to make a product that we like to drink, which was easy drinking beverages like Mexican beers and lagers.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that gap, and with a great group of guys, we just kind of decided to run with it. And we created a brand that was focused on quality and simplicity, and we called it Premium Simplicity.
Okay.
And then, what started as a garage brewing operation by my business partner, Blake, who was brewing
Literally in the garage?
Like literally in a garage. He was brewing 20 liters at a time with his friend who was a plastic surgeon. On weekends, they would scrub in, they would go into his garage, nerd out on craft beer, and submit his products into amateur brewing competitions. And he started winning awards and kind of got us all, the other founders, really excited about, hey, we have, not only a great vision of the brand, but someone who actually understands the science behind it. And what started as a garage brewing operation turned into one of the largest independent alcohol brands in Canada. I started delivering beer to restaurants and bars in downtown Toronto. And, when you are an entrepreneur, you wear a lot of hats.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah, you got to have boots on the ground, and you wear a lot of hats to get your hands dirty, kind of whatever it takes to get to, gain consumers and make the brand sticky.
Absolutely. They don't call it a grind for no reason. So I totally.
Yeah, and it was a real grind. And, for those who don't live in Canada, delivering beer down an alleyway into a small restaurant when it's minus 30 degrees is not a fun thing to do. But, everything we did for a reason. And kind of the goal of everything we ever did was the consumer. Like, we were obsessed with the consumer and surprising and delighting the consumer. So, and also the highest litmus test for us was that we were the consumer. So the stuff that we liked, we knew everyone else would like, because that was kind of, where the market was going and what we really liked, and didn't see that there was any competition, that was going to kind of, obviously there's always competition, but any competition that we were afraid of, and that kind of gave us any, made us second guess our decision to.
You just kind of move right in, get your hands dirty and run with it, move fast, break things kind of mentality. I love that. And
it's all about disruption in all ways and every ways.
And a lot of the time, people identify businesses based on, what they want and what they need and what they're missing from the marketplace, and then filling in. And sometimes it doesn't work, but, sometimes it works phenomenally, like in your case. And so where did the name Ace Hill come from?
So the Ace Hill means to us, we came up with the meaning of the name after we came up with the actual name itself.
Right.
But it's, if you've ever seen the logo, it's an A,
Mm-hmm.
and for us, an A is a hill. It represents elevated quality.
Love that.
So A stands for quality. You're a fighter pilot, or you've aced a test, and hill is like the elevated point above its surroundings. So you know, quality with you know, premium products really blended itself well, and allowed us to kind of hit the ground running, and you know, we've never looked back ever since.
Totally, and clearly that name has resonated very well with the consumers. And you know, going back to what you said, the mantra for your brand seems to be an emphasis on quality, which I think is a big part of building any successful brand. What were some of your other challenges? And with all the selection out there, how did you differentiate your brands from the others?
So, you know, I'll answer the second part first. We differentiated in a lot of different ways because, you know, we really like canvass the market and are active CPG consumers ourselves. But, you know, the things that really set us apart were great branding and design. You got to look good on the shelf, especially in a retail environment. We obsessed over the quality of the liquid, so we made sure, you know, the quality control was at the highest level it can be. And we created a brand that was like kind of tied into culture, music, and food and art, and we did that by kind of partnering ourselves with the right people and places that our brand wanted to live. And you know, environmental causes were also a big part of our differentiation. We donated 1% of all of our sales to environmental causes, and we partnered with water charities, because without good water, there wouldn't be any good alcohol.
Right.
So we partnered with local water charities and the David Suzuki Foundation. So, you know, environmental causes was a big, and just, you know, just being a good corporate citizen was really important to us. And distribution. So distribution was another one of our differentiations. You know, we built the brand and we wanted to make sure we got as much liquid to lips as humanly possible. So we did, in our first year, we did a partnership with Porter Airlines. We've done partnerships with large music venues. So we were really hitting places where our consumers lived, and that, you know, they were consuming our products, because when you touch and feel and look at our product, you really become a fan, and you start researching about the brand. You know, it opens a lot of doors for you. And, you know, another big piece was innovation. We were constantly coming up with new products for new customers, and obviously listening to our customers, what they wanted and what they didn't want. And kind of that was our special sauce, of being able to differentiate in a really competitive environment. And some of the challenges, you know, are obvious, but, you know, distribution was a major one. And if you're not from Canada or Ontario specifically, it's a highly regulated environment. It's hard to secure shelf space. When you first start, you're just another beer company or another beverage brand, and, you know, you start on this bottom shelf, then you move to the middle shelf, then you go to the fridge. So there's different levels to like distribution. And that was for us really challenging early on. We were creating a really sticky brand, but we didn't have the distribution to kind of cash in the sales, and you can't distribute online. So it was one, you know, place that distributes alcohol in Ontario. It's called the LCBO. So they were the gatekeeper, and they really kind of control your destiny. But, and another piece was like just disrupting the old guard in a way. A bit of a challenge was, you know, when you disrupt, you have a target on your back. So these bigger companies that have more money than you, more people, more resources, you know, they were trying to eat our lunch and claw at our ankles, like the Molsons or the Bats of the world. So it created a lot of challenges for us early on. But, you know, with our ability to differentiate and create a really exciting brand for the consumer, we kind of broke through all that and are continuing to do that to this day.
That's awesome. That's an incredible story. And yeah, I mean, as an entrepreneur, I can definitely empathize with a lot of that. Luckily, we're not a retail company yet anyway. We're still direct to consumer, so we're not fighting for shelf space, but we've definitely done our research and it is definitely a stiff competition out there for shelf space. Retailers only have so much, whether it's alcohol or supplements or any other industry really. And so I can appreciate those challenges, definitely.
Yeah, like in any CPG brand, I'm sure it's the same in your business and my business. Before COVID, it was you're a bar owner, you have 10 guys showing up to your bar every fucking Thursday or Friday, and they're pitching you the new products, and it's just really competitive. So it's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work, but some of the differentiations that we've built into our brand, we extended it into our cannabis company as well, and we're really successful in that. And it's entrepreneurship is not easy, but it's really rewarding and
if it were easy, everyone would do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. Well, given that Spore is obviously a health and wellness focused brand, I want to dive into, some of those health benefits we kind of mentioned about beer earlier. I've heard that there are health benefits associated with drinking beer, in moderation, of course. And from my own research, apparently beer is loaded with antioxidants. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. So, during my time at Ace Hill, I was not really involved in the production or the scientific side of the business. My partner, Blake, was the brewmaster, so to speak. But obviously, everything in moderation can be beneficial. And we hear a lot about the abundance of antioxidants in wine, but beer has just as many. But the specific kind of antioxidants aren't different because, the barley and hops are different from grapes, but any antioxidants are a good thing. And, anything coming from the ground, like a plant, is typically a good thing to consume. And, with our business and all of our competitors, it was a really different ability for us to differentiate, ability to differentiate, because brands like Labatt and Molson and Coors, those beers are brewed with preservatives and additives and all sorts of stuff that you don't want to put in your body.
Yeah, hence the high quality nature of your business. And I've heard that beer is also actually higher than wine in protein and vitamin B, and even better, beer contains iron, calcium, phosphates, and even fiber, which is just incredible.
I think beer is also, definitely. Beer is an underrated health, has underrated health kind of characteristics.
Absolutely. Like they say, you should drink a glass of wine a day, but it seems like a glass of beer would do you just as good.
Exactly. And we have, we were really transparent about the ingredients we put on the label, and, really obsessed over making the best product we absolutely ever could for our consumer.
That's incredible. It definitely makes me want to crack a cold one right now. Most people associate alcohol with more negative connotations, obviously, than positive ones. For example, it's my understanding that alcohol abuse over time can harm the brain, but beer, it seems, may show some promise in that area. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, actually, studies have shown that hops, has a secret ingredient that can actually help cognitive function. It's a scientific word that I might fumble, but it's called xanthomol, I think.
Great, yeah.
But it's part of the characteristics of the hop that helps slow down the degradation process of the memory. So there's a chemical that could help the brain cells from damage associated from dementia. So they haven't really studied beer from the health benefits that much, but there are definitely everything in moderation, obviously. But
of course, understanding you're a brand guy and not a scientist. But
yeah, and also we started as a beer company. We morphed into an alcohol brand that made Rattlers and RTDs and ready to drink. So our seltzers are very unique, where a lot of White Claws and the White Claws of the world, they use natural flavoring, and the natural flavoring could be, from the natural world, but it could be from a mushroom, so to speak, can be made to taste like a lemon. And there's also different compounds that you can make in a lab to make taste like anything. So when we launched our seltzers, a big differentiation of our seltzer brand was we only use real fruit juice. So it was vodka, soda water, and real juice. Nothing else.
That must be pretty good.
Yeah, so it was really cool to see, the consumers, we like to say real tastes better. So when you have a real product that has real ingredients, it typically tastes better and is better for you. And the better for you mantra has trickled down to our entire business, where everything we create and do and put out to the public is typically, obsessed over on the quality and of the product itself. So
yeah, that is definitely some encouraging stuff, and obviously big emphasis on moderation still, but it's definitely, for me as a consumer of beer, it's great to hear that there's not just negative associated with it. And are there any other kind of health qualities that high quality beer can provide that you know of?
Yeah, I think due to the kind of the high silicone content in beer, it may actually lead to stronger bones. And dietary silicone in soluble form may be important for the growth and development of bone and connective tissue. So, as a runner myself, my recovery includes a beer. And it helps kind of like me recover and relax and I think a lot of athletes are kind of diving into it slowly in the beer space specifically, because it does help recovery, it does help strengthen your bones, and there are benefits to beer that most people don't really know.
Yeah.
But I think that the more you research about it, the more you actually can find things that are actually good for you. Obviously, everything taken in moderation is always good for you.
Mm-hmm.
But there are definite benefits to beer and to alcoholic beverages in general. But beer specifically, I can speak to, and we make other products and cannabis as well. And cannabis is good for all sorts of things that
Yeah, it can be looked at as a wellness product in many ways. It's obviously medicinal, and so it's funny to think of beer in a medicinal way as well. And for our viewers, like from my research, what I've seen is that beer actually contains dietary silicon in a soluble form, being orthosilic acid, or OSA, and it's important for the growth and development of bone and connective tissue. It helps reduce the risk of osteoporosis and bone thinning disease. So the health benefits of beer are actually quite extensive, and I had no idea until I just started looking into it very recently. But it's super encouraging, obviously, to me as a consumer of the product as well. So I guess with all that partying I did once upon a time, or every now and again, I actually might have been doing my body some good. But
yeah, listen, beer's 4 ingredients: water, hops, malt, and yeast, and fermented. Whether it's a lager, it's fermented for 3 weeks to a month, or an IPA, it's maybe a couple of days. But there's all sorts of benefits.
It's a fairly simple, natural product.
Exactly, they're natural ingredients, come from the ground, and whatever we do and any products we like to make, we obsess over the quality and the ingredients, and it shows from the traction we've kind of gained from the consumer.
Absolutely, the proof is in the pudding.
And at the end of the day, it's exciting to be an entrepreneur, and you know how it is.
Absolutely,
it's never easy. There's highs and lows.
Mm-hmm.
And if you live in Ontario, you can get our product at the LCBO, any LCBO in the province, and in select markets around the country. But that was just a small little product plug. But I think it's
listeners can give it a shot.
Exactly.
If someone wants to find out more on that note about you or your brand, where can they find you guys?
Yeah, so our alcohol company, you can find us on Instagram. We're very active at Ace Hill, ACEHILL, and our cannabis brand at Ace Valley, ACEVALLEY. And on the internet, you can Google us. You'll find us pretty easily. And I hope you get to enjoy one of our beverages or spliffs at any point of whatever you're into.
I definitely will. I promise you that. And I have many times, so I'll continue to do so.
Well, we would joke. We get higher note supply all the
time. Well, when the supply is such high quality, I mean, why the hell not, right?
Totally.
Well, Noah, thank you so much for joining us on Mushroom Mondays and giving us a crash course on beer and all its benefits. I think our audience is shocked and happy to learn that there is more to beer than just, beer belly. That's it for this podcast. Again, thank you so much for joining. To our audience, thank you for joining us today with our guest, Noah Gill from Ace Hill and Ace Valley. Remember to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and get notified when we go live or have a new episode of Mushroom Mondays. I'm Mike Zavit, co-host of Mushroom Mondays with Spore, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me, guys.